What's up, fam? Welcome back to the Steep Stuff podcast. I'm your host, James Lariello, and I'm so excited to bring you guys an episode for the pre-Sunapee Scramble interviews with none other than Lauren Gregory. One of the biggest new names in our sport. Lauren has just kind of exploded on the scene. It was really fun to chat with her. We caught up as she's in her preparation right now and her build for Sunapee. We talked a lot about what her build has looked like, kind of dealing with some Achilles issues and how she's been able to kind of supplement a lot of that training on the bike. We talked a lot about training theory. We talked about Sunapee as well. We talked more specifics about the course, what it's like dealing with that humidity and getting through, just like a super humid day with bad weather, usually that northeast gnarly, if you will, terrain and technicality. Talked a lot. Lauren's a kind of a new face to the podcast, which has been fun. So I'm excited to do a long-term interview or long form interview with her down the road, just because there's so much to unpack there and catch up on. But we did dive a little bit into Lauren's background. We got a lot into how she just absolutely exploded onto the scene with the ending of her season last year, taking a top 10 finish at Mammoth as well as a podium finish at Headlands, all to kind of cap that off with a second place finish at the Golden Trail World Series final, which should probably give her an absolute ton of confidence going into Sunapee this year to go make another Worlds team. So yeah, big fan of Lauren. Just is so excited. She's so young in the sport for what she's going to do. This is a really fun episode. And like I said, this one's a little bit longer than some of the other ones just because we got to explore some of Lauren's background. So without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy this one. None other than Lauren Gregory. Lauren Gregory, welcome to the Steep Stuff podcast. How's it going?
It's going well. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. I'm super excited to have you on. It's like, I don't know. You're definitely one of the top people that I've been wanting to have on the pod. So I'm glad we were able to make this happen. Shout out to Tom Hooper.
Shout out to Tom.
Tom Hooper's my boy. I love that guy. How's everything going? How's your week going? How's the Boulder life?
Yeah, week's been good. Boulder life has been fantastic. Just kind of like really quickly integrating with the community and like seeing old friends and meeting new friends. It's just been like such a good, easy transition back. Colorado is home to me, so it feels like a really easy transition. Just being like home doesn't feel like stressful or like everything's familiar, which is cool. Just kind of like getting back in the swing. Still been like both cross training and running, and this has been an elite place to cross train. So like no complaints. It's like nice when the cross train doesn't take from your soul. It's like, actually, this was a good day. And like, I had a really fun time on my bike. So it's pretty nice. Can't complain.
Bike a lot, or are you just like more so because you were like working back from an injury?
Yeah, I'm more like if I'm in full training, I enjoy biking, but like, it's just not usually a part of my training. But maybe if this summer goes well, like, maybe it's something I throw in because it works or something. But I'm more of like a traditional running is running. And like, that's how you get good at running. And I just prefer to run. So yeah, but we'll see. It's mostly just been like an injury, like modifying training a little bit.
I feel that on so many levels. Like I'm going through a small injury right now. I don't even know if it's big. It could be small. Hopefully it's small.
You never know.
And I've been on the bike for the last like week, losing my mind. Like it's gravel biking. So I'm like, we have a lot of good spots out here. Today was like the first day I had like Michelino's and Stereo like threw me a couple workouts to do. And I was like, all right, I'll give this a try. And I'm like, you can actually get in zone 4. Like you can like really do a lot of good stuff on the bike. I'm like, this is legit. And I had literally bought a gravel bike like 3 years ago and it had sat in my garage, like never really touched it. So yeah you never know. Like
you never know.
Going forward, I'm like, maybe I can do a ton of aerobic volume on this. And like, maybe I'll just do that for my easy days and run on the other days. Yeah. I don't know.
And I mean, this might be like gaslighting myself, but in my head, like it is good for trail. I would say like my flat running isn't quite what it used to be pre-injury, but on the bright side, I don't think I need that as much. So yeah, and like I've done a couple uphill workouts and like my hiking is better than it's ever been, where I actually like don't feel like I'm slowing down. Whereas before, usually hiking is where my race just goes out the window. Not really out the window, but I'm like, I can tell like a significant pace change because I'm just not a good hiker. But I don't know, maybe it's the biking.
Could be. Yeah. I think it's the secret sauce. I don't know. I think I don't know. We'll see what happens, but yeah, I think the biking might be a blessing. I've heard from a lot of people it translates well to uphill stuff. Yeah. So we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, trail kind of brings my runner brain in terms of what you need to do for training because it's so different from like road and track. Like people can get away with doing all sorts of different things. So we'll see. Maybe it's the ticket. Like definitely I've gotten more aerobic volume in than I would usually running because I just wouldn't be able to handle that much. So that's been cool.
Yeah. Well, like fingers crossed. Hopefully it works.
Guess we'll see. We're
What
just shooting from the hip. So
what have you been working through? Is it like just Achilles thing or?
yeah, that's the one. The freaking pesky Achilles. And
Dude, it's the
it was
worst.
like one of those things where I was in denial, like small injury. And then turns out somewhere along the way I didn't pay attention to it. And now I'm still dealing with her. But she's calmed down.
Okay.
She's become a she. So yeah. She's calmed down and like has been friendly enough to like increase training load and run more and oddly enough steep climbing doesn't bother it. So we're
Really?
just like, grateful for that. I'm like really kind of
Nice.
at the point. It's been like 3 months and I'm just giving up on trying to understand her. So hopefully just race her into submission and see what happens.
There you go. Have you
Yeah.
do you know Ryan Becker? He's like a savant on Achilles injuries. He's been dealing with this like since he graduated college and he's like
I have
very
not.
like yeah, highly recommend Ryan
Okay.
Becker is a person to know and ask questions about. Like he's not a medical professional by any means, but he's been able to avoid surgeries like the last like 2 years, been dealing with
Oh,
it.
that's
So
awesome.
highly
Okay.
recommend. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of resources out there. People have been sending me all sorts of podcasts and stuff. It's an interesting injury to listen to and or like to learn about, but and it's in like such a funky spot that like I'm not too afraid of it. It's not Haglands and it's not in like an insertion point. So just kind of going with it. Yeah.
Sweet, sweet.
Just
All right.
riding it out, you know.
Well, outside of that, like, what's the stoke level for Sunapee and Broken Arrow? I'm sure probably pretty high, right?
Yeah, the stoke is definitely high. I feel like nervousness is kind of like intertwined. Both like I'm really stoked because I love racing trail and like I'm super excited to get this thing going, but not having like maybe a traditional build or like the perfect build that I was envisioning, it definitely like adds a little element of nerves, but kind of just trying to like be smart with my injury and then like also be excited to race and like also be grateful that it's like I'm not being stupid and just gonna send myself and like blow up my Achilles. Like I'm in a spot where I feel like still confident that I can go and race and like give it my best. So it's also gonna be kind of cool to see where I'm at because I have no idea. I haven't raced since February, and February was a flat road
Okay.
half. So it'll be interesting. I think I wish it wasn't a US champs, maybe like as a first go, but I think that's kind of everyone's in that boat unless you did a rando race in April.
Yeah.
So
No, for sure. And it's an interesting thing too. Like I've thought about this a lot. Like, is there such a thing as race rust? Is there not? Especially for these short races, like maybe there just isn't. And maybe just taking that time, like really, I don't know. I think there's pros and cons to both. I think it just depends on the person, you know?
yeah, I think because I have maybe a track, more like traditional track background, like rust comes from not being sharp, but trail doesn't like, in my opinion, I could be completely wrong, but it doesn't have that same element of like needing sharpness. You just need mental toughness and like strength. And those things I think can be there as long as you're not over fatigued, like that could be there anyways, you know. And sometimes it's your day and sometimes it's not. And that I don't think always has to come from like, oh, I'm just not race ready or something like that. Because also workouts are sometimes just as hard as races on the trail. So I don't know. That's just what I'm telling myself.
No, I think it's fair. I think it's a fair assumption.
Yeah.
Let's talk about worlds. So the interesting thing with you is you've now run two, is it correct? Two worlds, one as a junior,
Oh
one
yeah.
as not a junior. And
Yeah.
then you've technically represented Team USA, what, three or four times? Three times? Four times? I know you were challenged as Stelina as well. Was that
Yeah. And I got to make a couple junior teams for cross in high school, which was cool too. So yeah, like there's been some things
so this is
scattered.
not new for you. This is not new at all.
The like senior worlds. I guess I made the Thailand team, but I was pretty underprepared for that. So like to actually be there and like kind of get a grip of what have a grasp on like what training's like, what being a pro is like, and this is like the first one I've actually been like, okay, I really want to like zero in on this and like give it my all. So yeah, maybe the first one with some pressure.
Okay. Oh, pressure. Let's talk about this. You feel a little pressure for this one? You tell me.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess, yeah, I think, I don't know. I feel like I saw what I could do last year. Um, and I'm still figuring things out. So I'm not like I'm hoping for perfection, but like everybody does. And I'm also trying to remember that like perfection isn't possible. And I still, of course, have like so many things to learn. So yeah, but I guess I do always put pressure on myself. And this one, US Champs does. And maybe I'm kind of like tamping down the pressure for US Champs just given the injury. And it's like, got to get the job done at the end of the day. So, but then coming into Worlds, like I definitely have some things I want to take care of there.
Very cool. Very cool. I got to ask you. So, I mean, maybe this is just a glitch. I saw you weren't signed up for the Broken Arrow Ascent. You were signed up for the 23K, and you
Mhm.
were signed up for the Mountain Classic at Sunapee. So, no Broken Arrow Ascent then. No.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I've kind of gone back and forth because it seems like a lot to put all your eggs in one basket for Worlds. But I was at Thailand only on the uphill team. Um, and I didn't enjoy that race discipline. Like that's not my strength in my opinion. And like I felt like almost underutilized for the Team USA because I'm like, I know I could perform really well in the classic discipline because it was like 6 miles or something with a lot of flat running, and think I tend towards more like downhill running. So just doing the freaking like hike up to the village, which was cool, but like I just didn't I wasn't like proud of my race. And obviously some training, obviously specifically for uphill, but at the end of the day, like I'm a runner and I know I'm good at running. So I'd like to do
Fair
that.
enough.
And I feel like I'm still so new that I want to under race seasons than over race. So like everything's to me like another tax on the nervous system that I need to like save for later. So I think I just made the call to just race Sunapee and then just race Broken Arrow because then I'll go and now I have to go run Mexico since I missed Asia.
Yep.
So there's just like I need to give myself some like both times to train, recover, and focus for the end of the year. So the ascent just didn't make the cut.
No, I think it makes sense. You got to do what you love and want to do, right? Like, and also
Yeah.
like you've spent some time in the Northeast. You know the way those Northeast trails work. Like you've raced a bunch out
Yeah.
there.
Hmm.
That race is like so much. I'm so upset that I'm not like I literally this injury flared up like 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago, and I was like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to because I was gonna do that with the double with Sir Cannon. I'm so bummed, but like it just
Yeah.
looks like so much fun, and it's gonna be just bananas with how many people are showing up, and it's gonna be just like a big celebration of our sport, which will be fun.
Yeah, it's such a cool thing. Yeah, and the East Coast trails have their own like unique flair. Yeah, and that's the other thing with the ascent involved. Like, I'm interested in the Broken Arrow ascent. I have no interest in those European style ascents.
Yeah,
Two different
completely different race. Yep.
entirely. I've
Yep.
done my fair share of VKs and just been like, cool, that was an experience. I I'm not really sure what that was, you know?
It's
So
great.
I don't know. It's like tough because we just don't have that in the US unless we go to like Alaska or
Yeah.
something.
I feel like our style of mountain running is just so different here versus Europe. It's just a completely
Mhm.
different sport. And it's funny because like some Americans are like just confused by it. Like they're like, what? Like this is completely different. And others like adapt really well. Like some people like Joe Gray just like consistently just figures it out.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, he's been doing it a long time,
Yeah,
little
true.
Joe.
True. We always like these legends are legends for a reason, and it's not always like smooth sailing. But yeah, no, he's definitely an example of like can pretty much throw down anywhere, which
Yeah.
is cool.
Yeah. All right. So we've talked about the race like in some degree. I got to ask you this because I know the course is a little bit different from 2023. It's going to be a slightly tweaked on the second loop to where it includes like more of a technical climb the second time around. I think of this race almost like as it's two loops, like almost like a Broken Arrow 20 or 48K, right? Where it's the person leading the first loop generally is not the person winning the race. So there's always carnage in there. Do you have you like, how do you approach these races mentally, especially something like this? Is there more strategy going in, or is it, I'm just going to go out and do my thing? Like, how do you approach this mentally?
Yeah, I think the first thing that comes to mind is that like I'm still fairly new to this. I mean, quite new to this. So I think a level of respect is involved, like, especially for the two loop courses, because it can absolutely bite on the second loop. So I think for me, it's just running at whatever like, I know my limit is. And so maybe if it was a one loop course, like, perhaps I could like, top over my limit and then catch up on a downhill or, like, recover on there. But yeah, I think it's just going to have to be like knowing myself and like trusting that I can hold a certain heart rate or like a certain level and descend also on that and do it again. Yeah, so I think it's just going to be to not blow up or mitigate blowing up big time. Because I guess if there was nothing on the line, then maybe I would like press the first climb and just try to like blow people up or something like that. But
Okay.
I think I think because if I blow myself up, then the goals go out the window. So it's like being both smart and strategic to make the team. And like also if you want to win, you have to be better than everybody else.
Yeah.
So
I'm
yeah,
just
that there comes in that the and I like the classic or like the up down distance because you can be somewhere on the climb, but then make a lot up on the descent or kind of like play to your strengths. And I think that helped me a lot at Golden Trail was like trusting that I can make up some time on the descent or yeah. And I like the technical trail. So like I just get excited by that. So
yeah.
yeah, kind of
I
some strategy, but also more just like doing my own thing.
It's interesting too, and I like the way you're approaching it too, because like being in the race, right? You think about it, like we all know how Allie goes out. Allie's so aggressive, right? And it's like, all right, do I follow her? Do I go with her? What's Anna Gibson going to do? They're like, and if Grayson's in the race, we don't really know if that's going to happen. So there's going to be a lot of people with different styles, right? So it's going to be just interesting to see how it gets mixed up. And I feel like just playing to your own strengths and doing that probably, and not racing someone else's race is probably the way to do it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel like, but on the other hand, I haven't quite nailed down what I'm going to do if you can't tell. But
It's all
on the
right.
other hand, too, if you let someone get too far out, then
You're never getting them back.
no
Yeah,
matter
yeah.
what, like you could descend 2 or 3 minutes faster than them, but you're not going to catch up. And also with trail, because it's not like you can see them from a distance all the time. Sometimes you have no idea they're 30 seconds in front of you. So, yeah, but I do think the key like status goal is just to not blow myself up because it's like NCAA cross or something where all of a sudden you're hemorrhaging points in places and then you've kind of like botched the goal.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I got to ask you this. So we did talk about a little bit about pressure. I would ask you, given so much success that you had, I would assume what the expectation is, but you tell me what the expectation is for yourself.
For Sunapee or moving
Sunapee.
forward?
Yeah.
Yeah, the expectations to make the team,
Okay.
the goals to win. So, yeah, I guess.
I
But
like it.
also last year, like I had success, but I also had like pretty fat L's. So I think I'm still like figuring out the consistency thing.
So this is where I was going to go after that question was like, dude, you were like a total world beater last year going into like, even on the like Golden Trail World Series final, I was like, Lauren Gregory, like I have to have her on the podcast. Like this is insane. What clicked for you? I mean, obviously you've always been so good. You've always had consistency and you're very young in the sport. But like, what do you think clicked for you that like should give you enormous confidence going into this season?
Yeah, that's a good question. I guess all spring I was training on the track and like fit, but just like mentally not in it at all. And I think battling that was really hard. And then like making the trials, making the final, and being like so mentally not there. And like that sucks so much. So I think part of it was like coming back into my own as a runner because I felt so like disconnected from what I even wanted to do. And so the beginning of the trail season also like did go to Europe, did race Poland, like Poland didn't happen. Like just some certain things and like my first time being over in Europe for like 4 weeks or something, however long we were there. And all of the things that come with that, like being tired, like a training I was just tired like the whole time. We were just moving a lot and like just a lot of logistics to figure out. I think it was just being a noob, you know? So some of that I have to give credit. And then I finally got to race the when we were in Europe at Trofeo Nazigo. And I towed the line not being sick, but turns out I was like harboring this freaking stomach virus that hit the next day. So it's like
Oh
I
man.
finally got to race and it was so discouraging because I raced like I just felt awful and like raced like garbage and I'm like, what's going on? And then got to come home and like actually reset and I think I just laid on the couch for 2 weeks and then went to Mammoth. Oh no, went to Headlands, it clicked, went to Mammoth, did better. Yeah. So the rest of the season kind of swung upwards from there, but a lot of factors with like figuring out mentally and then kind of letting training set in. Um, yeah, so I'm glad it ended like that. About midway through the summer, I was like, do I just need to call it? Like, is my year just like over right now? So I'm glad I didn't do that, but it was close for sure.
Isn't it crazy? Like you might like position that you're in the beginning of the summer and then going into it, you're like, you have no idea, obviously, what's going to happen. You have certain expectations of what you think. Obviously, expectations go out the window, and then you have the season that you have at the end. And it's like, wow, it's a good thing. Yeah. Like, oh my
Yeah,
God.
like genuinely, I almost totally didn't go to finish any of it. And like luckily my coach has seen my workouts and has been like, okay, like you're fit, you know? But like I didn't think so. Like I was not in the place where I was like my training's doing well or and it's hard with trail because you don't have like a ton of metrics to compare. But yeah, crazy how that works. The rest of the season just kind of like swung upwards, but
Interesting.
also like lacking that pressure really helped, I think.
Yeah,
And
that's
I
true.
didn't have anything to prove. So
It's fair
yeah,
enough. Let me
see.
ask you this: the coaching aspect of it. You said you're working with a coach. Who's your coach? Who do you work with?
Ben True.
Okay. Yeah. Very cool.
So he's out in
Yeah.
New Hampshire, and that's where I went
Legend.
to. Yeah, freaking legend for
Yeah.
sure.
That's
Yeah.
really that's such so interesting. So he can coach for the trails. I mean, I guess fitness is fitness. So it's like obviously there's some more specific stuff you layer in like towards the end of the block, but like at the same time, that's interesting.
Yeah, and I mean, most people maybe don't know this, but he was like pretty much a cross country ski hybrid track person and like maybe leaned more heavy cross country skiing until like after college running. So yeah, he does have kind of, I think, more of that mindset involved, which I do think helps with how he approaches trail training. Yeah, because it's more
Interesting.
like a little more similar.
Yeah, no, that's really interesting. Yeah, it's I don't know. I think there's so many ways to show up to a race fit. Like I was just talking to Bailey Kowalczyk, and like obviously she's working through an injury, and we are talking about the cycling aspect, right? And like hammering the bike, and it's like, well, you can show up really fit doing that. You could show up doing hybrid stuff. Like I don't know, and there's so many different ways to get to a race and have a ton of fitness. But it's like, how can you apply the specific stuff later into the block? I guess that makes it kind of fun. The
Yeah,
science behind it is like, I don't know. I'm kind of a geek about it now. It's fun.
no, for sure. I think it's especially interesting to me on the trail side because on the track, we're all doing the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
you go to the track and you're like, gosh, K's, what an original workout, you know? But like on the trail, people come from so many different training backgrounds and like so many different things they're doing. It's just really cool. And then everyone, kind of throws down in their own way. So it's also, I think, like acknowledging your background. Like, I'm not gonna go try to get like loads of ski fitness because I'm just not a skier. So like
Yeah.
I also like can acknowledge that running is where I know I can get the most out of myself. And like it's my bread and butter. So I do like working with Ben because I feel like he's kind of more on that line of thinking.
I got to ask you this. Moving forward, are you going to be like more specifically just dedicated to the trails, or do you think you'll try to do hybrid seasons like trail and track as well? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, like no more track.
Okay.
I think no more track for me. Maybe a 10K like for fun. Well, just to like go for it. But yeah, I don't see how because in my mind like trail's my favorite and trail's the one I like want to dedicate the whole year to. And so if it doesn't in my head connect to trail, like the 5K training just like people always say like even it's good for VKs. I don't think that. Like I I don't know. Maybe if you're a certain person, but like it's just a completely different training. Like being good at ripping 70s on repeat is like really cool, but I don't really know where that has a place in trail. Like fitness is fitness and that's good, but I'd rather work other systems than just VO2 all the time.
Yeah.
So anyways, no more track probably, but I did really enjoy the idea of like a roads block in the winter and spring and then trail summer, fall. Like that to me was great. And I really loved training for the roads this last year or this last winter until my Achilles kind of blew. But in the future, I'm really looking forward to like balancing roads and trail, like half marathon distance. Yeah, because I think it translates really well, and I like that idea of just getting like really aerobically fit and having just like really working on threshold and like understanding what that feels like. So
No, I
yeah.
think it's super smart. I was going to ask you, I completely lost my train of thought. Shoe, what's the race day shoe you're going to be wearing for Sunapee?
Mm, the Tigers most likely.
Okay.
The tail Tigers.
Does
Yeah.
that handle really well? And like, I don't know. I think of like the North, not that I am hopefully going to make it to Sir Killington, but like outside of that, what is it, like nasty, like muddy Northeast stuff? Is that like basically what that?
Fruity. Yeah,
Yeah.
the Tigers are like the best that handle on technical for sure. It
Okay.
was like hands down. And like the everything, I don't know. The grip is good. Like they're kind of the more aggressive, like closer to the ground shoe. Yeah, I think they're perfect for this. So I'm excited for that. We'll
Yeah.
see.
Okay. All right. That's super cool. What's the rest of so once we get through Broken Arrow, what's the rest of the season going to look like outside of like Worlds?
Yeah, so I want to do both the Golden Trail series and Worlds. And that's pretty much my only focus is like get the bare amount of races in so I can be in the ranking and hopefully make some money for Golden Trail. And then so I'll do Broken Arrow, then turn around and go to Mexico, which to me is still crazy that we do like
It's not
back-to-back
close.
weekend races. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't choose to do Mexico if it wasn't up, if I didn't have to get 3 races in. Um, but we're gonna go try that. And then Sierras and All, which is an A race for me this year that I'm super
Nice.
stoked for and very nervous for, but really excited for. So Sierras and All is like a big focus for me. And then I guess that pretty much just plops us at Worlds and then Golden Trail final. And
Yeah.
then
Okay.
if I have energy, maybe I'll throw something in November, but like I think over racing only like has a serious detriment to me and trail, in my opinion. So trying to keep it like as bare min as possible.
Yeah. No, I think it's a smart way to do it. And I think like, I don't know, if you have the inkling to jump into a race and you can do it, then obviously, yeah. But like as far as I see so many people that like overcommit and then end up like really tired by the end of the season and then drop out of stuff. And it's like it's
Yeah.
probably not the best way to do it.
And I
Yeah.
found at the final, like they have Golden Trail so heavily weights that thing. Like
Yeah.
you just race for no reason if you just like blow up in the final. And that sucks. Like you put all this time and money and energy to go to freaking Mont Blanc and like everywhere. And then if you don't have a good day, like it totally sucks. So yeah, I just think strategically, like making sure you're actually like mentally ready to go too. Like that's you could be physically fit, but if you're mentally exhausted, like,
Yeah.
that's no better. So
So true. So
yeah,
true.
just trying to like make sure that I'd rather have finished the season and be like, cool, I could keep going, where I did that last year. Um, but yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. And I'm so young in the sport. Like I don't know if I have the like ability to recover like some people can.
Yeah. That is crazy. Like you have so much time. It's kind of I'm old. I should have brought my cane with me. I'm like 34. So, when I think of like people like being in their like low 20s, like I have a couple of my good friends are like 26 and like 28 and I'm like, dude, you have so much time. It is not fair.
It's
Um,
very nice to hear in trail because in track it seems like it's now,
yeah.
like to be good. And in the NCA, it was like just always such a short time to be good. So it's nice to remember that like I have so many years to figure this out. And like even this one little blip of injury in the winter, like didn't actually like
Yeah.
I still have more time to do what I want to do. But
Yeah. I mean, look at Joe Gray. I mean, I don't think he would take offense to this, but he's like 41. Joe's been doing it for a long time. Like Max King's old too, like relatively speaking, and they're still doing
yeah,
their thing. So
still
yeah,
throwing down.
plenty of
Yeah,
people
really
and
cool.
yeah, there's plenty of opportunities like deep into your 40s, which is I think that's really cool, right?
Yeah.
Um, All right. So I think we got everything. Oh, the one question I was going to ask you, and I was debating on whether I was going to save this for when we do our long form, but I got to ask you, are you ultra curious? Because you're so new to the sport. Like, does that ever interest you to do the 50Ks and up or stuff like that? Or are you just,
Yeah,
does it really?
it
Interesting.
definitely does. Yeah, probably later down the line because I really like the like high end. I mean, I guess ultras kind of need that now too, but just like that kind of like high end performance, like really intense. And I think that's what my system's used to from racing in the NCAA and then doing that on the track like after. So it feels like comfortable to me. And I feel like I really respect each hour that gets added to my race. So like last year I didn't race Sears and all because 3.5 hours is 4 hour wait, 4.5 hours for women is like that's long for me. Like Golden Trail feels long to me now because it's like a 2.5 hour race is a marathon to me.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and I feel like I have to respect that. So eventually, like I'm trying to add in my mind like an hour every year. So
Okay.
this year's and all. Maybe next year it's like Sagama or something, and like eventually OCC. I'm just someone maybe I'm like too cautious or underconfident about it, but
I think
yeah.
it's a
So
smart way to approach it.
ultra curious for sure, but like I'd like to build slowly up to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to chat series and all with you. That's like my bucket list race. Like I need to get out there and do it one year. It is such a cool race. You know what's so funny? I talk to everybody about this, and like I think most people don't understand. It starts in a place called Ziri and ends in a place called Zanal. Nobody gets that. Like
It's like that's the whole thing.
yeah, yeah. And it's like I don't know. It's just like so iconic. Like we've watched so many live streams, obviously with all the best in the sport. So it's gonna be cool. We'll chat about that on our next pod. I feel like
Yeah,
there's
we've got time for
lots
that.
to talk
We've got
about.
time for that.
Well, listen, I do want to wish you the best of luck going into Sunapee. Yeah, I'm super stoked. Hopefully we'll have a conversation after Broken Arrow, and yeah, we'll do another pod after that. Appreciate
Yeah, I
it.
would love that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah,
Yeah, I
thank
hope you
you.
can get out to Sunapee or can race Cannon because I
Yeah,
think that would be super fun. I wish I could do Cannon, but too many races in June.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Yeah, that course looks gnarly. Like I've never been to Franconia. My wife's family lives in upstate, and it's only like a 2 hour drive from Vermont. So I'm excited. At least like hopefully everything goes well, and I can open up the season at Killington. But if I can't make it to Cannon, it'll be all right next year.
Yeah.
So
I'm glad they've thrown it into the series, so
yeah.
it'll always
Hopefully it stays. I got to tell Julian, do not get rid of those. Tom Hooper
no, yeah,
won't
it
let it
keeps them
happen.
on the East Coast because I like we have a little club out on the East and people are freaking pumped on it.
Yeah,
So it's
cool.
like cool and people send out there like really like really good people. So it's cool. I think it'll be sweet to see everybody mixed in.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. Well, listen, Lauren, I really appreciate it. I wish you the best of luck, and yeah, we'll be in touch. Thank you.
Oh yeah.
Listen up, guys. The Steep Stuff podcast is brought to you by Ultimate Direction USA. Guys, I am so excited. UD just dropped their new Race Vest 6-liter and Ultra Vest 12-liter in two beautiful aesthetic colors. You guys got to check these new vests out. They're dynamic in ways like that you just have never seen from an Ultimate Direction vest. Very stretchy, lots of storage, beautiful aesthetic colorways coming to you in a new like a white and blue and an onyx and green. Just absolutely beautiful vests. I think these ones are just like some of the best products we've ever dropped, and I'm so excited for you guys to try them out. Hop on ultimatedirection.com and use code SteepStuffPod. Again, that's SteepStuffPod for 25% off your new vest. I mean, they're already affordably priced, but 25% off is just going to make it so much more affordable for folks in an already increasingly expensive trail running environment. So hop on ultimatedirection.com, get yourself a new vest, a pack, or any hydration solution, and let me know what you guys think.